So today, lads, we're going to be reacting to an article from the old Caitlin Clark style Twitter, and this is a post about the old Scott Agnes post, and this it's such a weird one when it comes to what Scott Agnes said. Like, I still think that is the weirdest article ever, where it's like he literally basically said one of the reasons why the Fever, one of the reasons why fans are bad is when they're calling for a coach to be fired. I'm sorry. It is just the fundamental thing of sports that people don't like their coach. Like, Warriors fans want Steve Kerr fired. I've heard Spurs fans for years saying Pop needs to be fired. Heck, I had friends that were Man United fans that said Sir Alex was like done. Sir Alex was done at some stages. The best coach in the world, people want them fired. And that's all that he kind of came out with was, oh, White should be fired. But it says here, obviously, she was at lunch with a co-worker last week in WNBA, came up, she mentioned that her friend is a fan of the Fever, especially of Redacted. Redacted is, the she who shall not be named, Lord Voldemort, Caitlin Clark. Co-worker sponsor flat out. Is she a fan of the WNBA or just a fan of Redacted? Um, does it matter? Like, if you ask me who am I a fan of, I'm a fan of Leeds United in football. And they were like, "Are you a fan of the Premier League or just Leeds United?" I'm like, "No, just Leeds United." If it was possible, I would love to see every other team lose every game. If there didn't have to be a winner in a sports game, I would love to see both teams lose in every game that doesn't involve Leeds United in the Premier League. Um, my friend doesn't follow basketball, doesn't follow sports at all, beyond what I've implored. She's a young, navigating male-dominated field. A thought hit her immediately. Would anyone ever say this to my male friend who loves LeBron, likes the Lakers, and isn't just self-proclaimed fan of every team slash player? Exactly. Exactly. No, they wouldn't. That's the problem. He said the loudest ones aren't Fever basketball fans. They're only there for redacted, but the dark side can seep into the team. The Fever won't let that happen. And I'm sorry, like, the Indiana Fever pull record numbers when Caitlin Clark doesn't play. Like, they're not there for basketball. I'm sorry. If somebody says fire Stephanie White, she plays too slow, that is an objective basketball take. You can say it's a jumping the gun, you can say it's nonsense, but it is objectively a basketball take. It is objectively a basketball take. It's a familiar sentiment, one to echo online for a year, but when a credential reported for the team positioned the player's fan base as something needs to be filtered out or guarded against, we're unpacking. Not even and she also was like, the type, references to fans who said fire Stephanie White and those who messaged him saying they feel redacted, been ignored or forgotten. So not trolls, not rival fan bases, not true abuse or inappropriate commentators, just vague, subjective other and fans with opinions. Yeah. Any fan that is not everything the Fever do is great. And I mean this, like, the Fever are paying an audible shot clock 80 grand. I have nothing against Brie Turner, the person. I've absolutely nothing. Like, by all accounts, she seems like a great person. I mean, look, how many people in this league would be willing to be an audible shot clock when they don't play basketball? I don't know. But she's terrible at basketball. We have to be honest here. She's terrible at basketball. That is an opinion that this team doesn't like. She sucks at basketball. It's a framing that mirrors other cultural patterns where dissent becomes deviance. I disagree too loudly, you're the problem. It's quite reminiscent of fake news rhetoric, the hasty generalizations that come of American politics. Again, I'm Irish, I don't know, nor do I necessarily care about some of this. Support becomes suspicion. Fandom around redacted, especially if passionate line is viewed with a unique lens. Post too much about her, you're not a real fan. Critique things related to the team, you don't get basketball. Express disappointment, well, welcome to the dark side. I mean this when I say this, like, if you are purely talking basketball, the Indiana Fever, there's been a lot of good basketball, a lot of real bad basketball. Let's not forget they came into the All-Star break at 500. Like, they came into the All-Star break at 500 and 3 games below 500 when Caitlin didn't play. Meanwhile, Redacted is praised for staying composed, tuning out the noise and keeping focus as our maturity is despite our following. Problem isn't structural, it's just them. It's a contradiction that gets louder every month. Redacted is driving eyes, engagement, coverage, and sponsorship, but the fan base fueling that visibility is asked to shrink or be cast as distractions. Bad actors exist, yeah. What's being framed as the dark side isn't bad actors, trolls, it's fans. That is the biggest part about this. Is the biggest problem about this, is that the article from Scott Agnes was not saying that the online trolls, it's not saying the Antonio Browns that posted some of the most disgusting things about her. And by the way, this was 72 hours after her actual stalker got jailed for 2 years, but the stalkers aren't the problems. The people like trying to dox her family, um, the people blaming her on all the world's problems, they're not the problem. It's the people online that complain when Natasha Howard fumbles, can't catch the ball. As great as she was, as great as Natasha Howard's been, she has hands made of stone. She has some weird inability to catch the ball. It's the people complaining about Kelsey Mitchell going dribble, 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 sidestep, long two. When we know that if Kelsey Mitchell relocates and shoots the three, she can hit the shot. It's the people complaining when Dantas doesn't run back on the floor. Because again, Dantas has been good, she tends to be lazy. Heck, it's the people that even complain when Caitlin Clark doesn't run back on defense sometimes. Like, it is the people that complain like it's a regular sports team that are pissed off at their regular sports team. And like it is because the WNBA is trying to take the emotion out of sports. They are trying to take the emotion out of it. You can't get too high, you can't get too low. If you're too high, it's a problem. If you're too low, it's a problem. At the end of the day, sport is emotion. Sport is emotion. Like, that's the biggest thing. Who gets to belong? Who gets framed as invested and gets dismissed as disruptive? It's easy to welcome Redacted's present when it comes to ticket sales, ratings, and merchandise. When the fans she brings are too new, too vocal, too direct, too online, too invested in things they don't know about. Quote unquote things they don't know about. Like, the scariest thing about this is the new fans that have come in the last couple of years. I can guarantee you know more basketball than the old fans. If this is growth, let it be messy. Growth has never sounded quiet, looked overly polite, or asked permissions. Growth has changed, conflict, discomfort. If the powers that be want to make them to last, they have to stop demanding smaller, softer, quieter fans, and they can still protect their players, all of them. If this was your business case study, you take it very simple. Don't scold your most engaged audience. Don't talk down to them. Don't turn your free feedback loop into a threat response. Study, listen, ask what brought them here and how to keep them. If the answer is redacted, then honour that. Don't treat the thing that brought people as if something to downplay once they arrive. That's the thing. That is literally what the WNBA have done. They have done... Look, I enjoy the league. Why do I enjoy the league? I like the sport of basketball. The fact is that the content I make allows me to cover basketball for a living. Would I prefer to be covering the NBA for a living than WNBA? Honestly, no. As you know, it's easier to cover. It's easier to watch every game. It's easier to focus on teams. And it's closer to the style of basketball that I play. It's like I'm Irish. I've played in the top league in Ireland. I've played semi-professional basketball. I've coached in the second tier in Ireland. I've played on national teams. I've played against some of the top players in Europe my age. Like, the style of play is closer to the style of play that I know. So it makes it easier for me anyway to evaluate the game, because a lot of the NBA style is, yes, there is a lot of kind of European motion-based offense, but the players are just simply too good that, like, there are certain players that can do dumb shit for 48 minutes and score 50 points and win you a game. Like, it is what it is. It's easier to cover 40-minute games. It's on during better times for me. So yeah, I do like the league and I'll stay, but I don't begrudge a single player. I don't begrudge a single fan that only watches the Fever or only watches the Fever when Caitlin plays. I don't begrudge them, because let's be real, the league and the writers, a lot of teams, they've done everything they can to make it so that you are the problem if you are a fan of one player. It would be like, imagine telling Lakers fans, it would be like, imagine going into writing think pieces in the 90s saying that if you're only watching the if the reason why you're watching the NBA is because of Michael Jordan, you're the problem. It's like saying that.